When we think about Jewish women during the Middle Ages, does anyone come to mind? Not necessarily. Who was famous? Who was well known? Well, there was one who definitely fits into this definition, and that is Doña Gracia Nasi, or Doña Gracia Méndez. Doña Gracia was born in 1510 to a family of Spanish exiles who moved to Portugal in 1492 and were forced to convert in 1497. So we're talking about a family of conversos, of converted Jews. Doña Gracia herself was Christian at birth, but came from a family that had very strong ties to its Judaism. She married a fellow converso, had a child, and was widowed rather young, and realized that it was dangerous to stay in Portugal because the Inquisition was being established. So she proceeded to move to Antwerp, where her brother-in-law had a thriving business, and she joined him. But the Inquisition followed them there, and she realized as well that this was not a good place to stay. So she left with her sister, her daughter, and her niece via France and arrived in Italy. She first went to Venice, where she had a debate where to live in the ghetto with the Jews, which meant that she could no longer go about as a Christian, or outside the ghetto. In the meantime, she ran into trouble because the authorities were told that she was practicing Judaism, was imprisoned shortly, and then fled to Ferrara in Italy. From Ferrara, she proceeded through Ragusa, which is Dubrovnik today, to Istanbul. And it's in Istanbul that she lived the rest of her life. She had many plans, though, as an internationally known woman. She helped fellow conversos flee by establishing an underground railroad. She had business agents all over the countries of Europe. She helped refugees, she helped build synagogues and study houses. She fostered the translation of the Bible into Spanish so that her fellow Sephardim could read it. She came up with the idea of a major ban on the port of Ancona because they had arrested and imprisoned and killed a number of her fellow conversos. She also came up with the idea of establishing a settlement in Tiberias, which she did not live to see and actually fell apart because of her death. So as you can see, Doña Gracia was indeed an international woman with an international reputation and the most well-known Jewish woman in the 16th century.